Did you know that 1 in 5 teenagers experience depression at some point? Let that sink in for a minute. 1 in 5. That means if you're a parent of multiple children, there's a good chance one of your kids has struggled or will struggle with depression. Now, I'm not telling you this to scare you, but to wake you up. We're talking about a serious issue here, folks. Teenage depression is real, it's common, and it's something we, as parents and guardians, need to be talking about. Look, being a teenager is tough. It's a time of immense change, physically, emotionally, and socially. They're trying to figure out who they are, where they fit in, all while navigating the pressures of school, social media, and everything else life throws their way. It's no wonder so many of them struggle. But here's the thing. Depression is not just a normal part of growing up. It's not just teen angst or a phase. Depression is a serious mental health condition that can have a devastating impact on a young person's life if left untreated. That's why it's so important for us, as the adults in their lives, to be informed and aware of the signs and symptoms of teen depression. Early detection is key. The sooner we can recognize the warning signs, the sooner we can get our kids the help they need. So, let's dive in and talk about 5 signs of teenage depression every parent should know. Now, we all know teenagers can be moody, hormones are raging, they're trying to assert their independence, it comes with the territory, right? But there's a big difference between typical teenage mood swings and the kind of persistent sadness and irritability that can signal depression. When we're talking about depression, we're talking about a pervasive sadness that seems to hang over everything. It's like a dark cloud that follows them around, coloring their entire outlook on life. They might seem down in the dumps, hopeless, or lose interest in things they used to enjoy. Maybe their favorite hobbies, the ones they used to be so passionate about, now just seem like chores. And it's not just sadness. Irritability is another big red flag. Everything seems to set them off. Little things that wouldn't normally bother them become major sources of frustration and anger. They're quick to snap, quick to argue, and it's like they're walking around with a short fuse, ready to explode at any moment. Now, it's important to remember that every teenager is different. There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to depression. Some teenagers might become withdrawn and isolate themselves, while others might become more clingy and dependent. Some might become more verbally aggressive, while others might internalize their feelings and suffer in silence. The key here is to pay attention to any significant changes in your teenager's mood and behavior. If you notice a dramatic shift from their usual selves, if their moodiness seems extreme or out of character, or if it's starting to interfere with their schoolwork, their relationships, or their overall well-being, it's time to take notice. Don't brush it off as just a phase. Talk to them, listen to them, and if you're concerned, don't hesitate to seek professional help. You know, one of the most common things I hear from parents of depressed teens is this: they just stay in their room all the time. And it makes sense. When you're depressed, you feel drained, exhausted, like you just don't have the energy for anything or anyone. Social interaction, which used to be a source of joy and connection, now feels overwhelming and exhausting. Think about it. When you're feeling down, do you really feel like going out and being the life of the party? Probably not. You'd rather curl up on the couch with a good book or binge watch your favorite show. And that's okay for a little while. We all need our downtime. But when it becomes a pattern, when your teenager starts withdrawing from social activities they used to enjoy, it's a warning sign that something deeper might be going on. Maybe they're constantly making excuses to avoid hanging out with friends. Maybe they're skipping out on family gatherings or school events. They might even start avoiding phone calls and text messages, choosing instead to retreat further into their own isolated world. Now, I get it. Teenagers are going through a lot of changes, and it's natural for them to want more privacy and independence. But there's a difference between healthy independence and unhealthy isolation. When your teenager's withdrawal from social activities becomes extreme or persistent, it's time to dig a little deeper and find out what's really going on. Talk to them, ask them about their friends, their interests, their social life. Are they still involved in the things they used to be passionate about? Are they making new connections? Or are they slowly withdrawing from the world around them? Remember, communication is key. Let your teenager know that you're there for them, that you care, and that you're willing to listen without judgment. Sometimes just knowing that someone cares can make all the difference. Let's talk about sleep, or lack thereof. We all know teenagers need their sleep. Their bodies and minds are growing and developing at an incredible rate, and sleep is crucial for that process. But when depression sets in, it can wreak havoc on their sleep patterns. Some depressed teenagers might find themselves sleeping more than usual. They might sleep in late, take frequent naps, and still feel exhausted all the time. It's like their bodies are trying to shut down to escape from the emotional pain they're feeling. On the other hand, some depressed teenagers might experience insomnia, struggling to fall asleep or stay asleep throughout the night. Their minds race with worries and negative thoughts, making it impossible to quiet down and drift off. Either way, changes in sleep patterns can be a major red flag for depression. If you notice your teenager is sleeping significantly more or less than usual, or if they're constantly complaining about feeling tired and run down, it's time to pay attention. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Dr. Phil, teenagers are notorious for their erratic sleep schedules. And you're right. But we're not just talking about the occasional late night or weekend sleep-in. We're talking about significant and persistent changes in their sleep patterns that are noticeable and concerning. If you're worried about your teenager's sleep, start by talking to them. Ask them how they're feeling, if they're having trouble sleeping, and if there's anything you can do to help. Encourage healthy sleep habits like establishing a regular sleep schedule, creating a relaxing bedtime routine, and limiting screen time before bed. And if their sleep problems persist, don't hesitate to consult with a healthcare professional. Sleep disorders are often treatable, and addressing any underlying sleep issues can make a big difference in your teenager's overall well-being. School can be tough enough as it is, but when you're battling depression, it can feel like an insurmountable obstacle. Depression can sap your energy, your motivation, and your ability to focus, making it nearly impossible to keep up with schoolwork. If your teenager used to be a straight-A student and suddenly their grades are plummeting, it's a major red flag. But even if they weren't at the top of their class, any significant decline in academic performance is worth paying attention to. Maybe they're struggling to concentrate in class, their minds constantly wandering to negative thoughts and worries. Maybe they're procrastinating on assignments, lacking the motivation to even get started. Or maybe they're just completely checked out, no longer caring about their grades or their future. Now, it's important to remember that not every student who's struggling academically is depressed. There could be other factors at play, like learning disabilities, family problems, or even just a lack of interest in certain subjects. But if your teenager's academic struggles are accompanied by other signs of depression, like changes in mood, social withdrawal, or sleep problems, it's important to take a closer look. Talk to them. Ask them about school, their teachers, their classmates. Are they feeling overwhelmed, stressed, disengaged? Try to get a sense of what's going on in their academic life and see if you can identify any underlying issues that might be contributing to their struggles. Remember, school should be a place where teenagers feel challenged, supported, and engaged. If your teenager is dreading school every day, it's time to take action and figure out why. Now this is a big one, folks. When a teenager starts talking about feeling hopeless, like there's no point in going on, it's a major red flag that should never be ignored. These are not just empty words. They're a cry for help, a sign that your teenager is in a lot of pain and needs your support. They might say things like, "What's the point?" or "I just want it all to end." They might talk about feeling like a burden to others or express a sense of hopelessness about the future. They might even engage in self-harming behaviors or talk about suicide. Now, I know this is scary stuff. It's natural to feel overwhelmed and unsure of what to do, but it's crucial that you take these expressions seriously. Don't brush them off as just attention-seeking or teenage drama. Your teenager is hurting, and they need your help. The first thing you need to do is listen, really listen. Put down your phone, make eye contact, and give your teenager your undivided attention. Let them know that you're there for them, that you care, and that you're taking their feelings seriously. Validate their feelings. Tell them that it's okay to feel the way they do, that you understand they're hurting, and that you're not going to judge them. Avoid dismissing their feelings or offering unsolicited advice. Right now, they just need to feel heard and understood. Let them know that they're not alone. Tell them that you're going to get through this together, that you're going to find them help, and that things will get better. Sometimes, just knowing that someone cares and is there to support them can make all the difference. We've covered a lot of ground today, folks. We've talked about the prevalence of teen depression, the importance of recognizing the signs, and the crucial role parents and guardians play in supporting their teenagers' mental health. Remember, early detection is key. The sooner we can recognize the warning signs of depression, the sooner we can get our kids the help they need. Don't be afraid to talk to your teenagers about mental health. Let them know it's okay to not be okay, and that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. If you're concerned about your teenager, please reach out to a mental health professional. There is help available and there is hope for recovery. You are not alone in this journey. Hey, if you found this video helpful, please share your experiences in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our next video focused on mental health resources for teens. Stay tuned and take care.